Hey guys, I'm the Coaster Keat, and today I just want to talk about DMing. So, in this context, DMing is not personal messaging or direct messaging someone. DMing is when you run a Dungeons and Dragons game. The DM, or Dungeon Master, as probably a lot of you know, is the one that, takes care of creating the entire world that the game is played in. They're also the kind of rules lawyer and the one that's always in charge and the one that's also all of the villains and enemies that all of the heroes will come across in their adventure. Now, the reason I want to talk about DMing is, to me, it's always been something that I've been very scared of, and for no good reason, if I'm to be completely honest. And that's kind of what this video is forcing me to do, is to be a little honest. But I have always had this fear of DMing, and I don't know why. Actually, I kind of do. It's because I've always had DMs that were very experienced. My first DM had played for a number of years. My DM, when I got to college, had been playing for years, and all of the people that I play with in college, or at least most of them, have played the game and been DMs for years. And so to me, it's something that you kind of earn, but not only is it something you earn, it's kind of something you're almost born into in the D&D community, which is kind of a weird statement, but essentially what happens for most DMs is they go and they watch something like Critical Role, or which is a common D&D game that people watch, or stuff like that. They'll see D&D and they'll think, hey, I really want to play that. And then, because none of their other friends are into it enough to go and read all of the books and stuff that you need to read to be a DM, they'll then just go ahead and read all the books and gain all the knowledge and suddenly, become the great glorified masters of the game. And to me, that's always been fine. It's been like, okay, cool. You go ahead, you do your thing, you be the master of the game, and I'll just sit back, watch, and enjoy not having to do all of that work. But the thing is, I have been picked out a couple of times, and I've picked myself out in my own mind as someone who would probably be a good DM if I was brave enough to do so. And I've been a DM a few times. I've run a little campaign for my friends, but it didn't really go that far. And I've done like a thing or two, but I've never really gotten the courage to actually go like full on into it. And I'm not in saying this video to say I'm gonna go and full on into being a dungeon master. That's not what's gonna happen. But it's just an interesting thing to think about, because being a DM, a ton of it is based on improv. And I would say that improvisation is one of my best skills. I made an entire channel based on it, and I just feel like presentations and improv, like when I'm doing those, that is just where I strive or where I thrive or whatever. That's where I'm like living. When I'm seeing everyone's reactions and I'm kind of gauging them and then I'm changing the presentation to suit them, I really love that feeling. So why is it so hard to transition into being a DM, where essentially all you do is improv a ton and gauge your players' reactions and just make sure they have a good time? Why is that such a hard transition? And I think it comes down to my writer background. And as I'm talking, I realize this is probably not very interesting to you guys, but I'm going to keep going anyway. But coming from a kind of writer background where I wasn't creating extensive worlds, but I was creating some sort of world and like fleshing it out word by word, and I always took a ton of time with each word that I wrote. Even nowadays when I write monster descriptions, it takes so frickin' long to write those things. It takes like 30 minutes to an hour for an under 200 word description. It's absolutely insane. But I carefully select and think about every word. I'm very meticulous when it comes to writing and creativity. And the thing about D&D is it's got creativity, but it's definitely not meticulous. This is the game where you're literally like, someone's like, oh, can I go to the like herbal remedy store? And you're like, Guess there's an herbal remedies store. It's called Herbiton. It's run by Bobbert the Goblin? I don't know. And you have to just come up with all of this stuff, like right there, right on the spot. And for me, who likes to create at least some sort of structured world where I feel confident in what I'm saying, I feel like having this continuity is really an important part of the player experience. I feel like that is one of the most important parts. So trying to come up with all of that stuff on the spot, having in the back of my head like this has to all fit together somehow in the future, it's just very stressful for me and has always been kind of problematic. So why am I talking about this? Why are you still here? First of all, why are you still here? In this video where I essentially talk to myself. But second of all, why am I doing this if I have all of this fear? Because I essentially, I DM'd a game a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago-ish, and that went okay. And then I also just signed up to do a game on Wednesday night, or Thursday night, not Wednesday night. And it's like, why do I keep pushing myself to do this? Because in the back of my head, I really, really want to be a DM. I feel like that's something that I'm not meant to do, but something that I definitely could do and could do a really good job of. But then there's just that fear that always comes back, and it's always like, why are you doing this? Like, you have no experience. So, I don't know. I'm gonna run a game on Thursday, and not only am I running a game, but it's gonna be for that group of people, or at least some of them, that are extremely experienced. Fortunately, it'll be a really small group, but it'll be a group, and it'll be an experienced group, and it'll be absolutely terrifying, but I feel like at this point, even though I'm extremely, and I mean extremely, uncomfortable being a DM, I swear, I literally, before a game, I will just feel that fear in my chest. I'll just be like, I have to do this, I'm gonna do this, and I just, I get that same thing before I present, though, so it's not like it's a unique thing to D&D, but, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And, you know, one of the main reasons that I'm gonna do it is not just because I feel like I should, but because I did start watching Critical Role recently. And one of the most reassuring things I've ever seen was the DM of that game, named Matthew Mercer. He actually, like, looks stuff up mid-game, and this is the stupidest thing, but he'll, like, make mistakes, he'll look stuff up, he'll, like, check with players. He is not a perfect DM, and that, for me, has helped a lot. That was what kind of gave me the courage to, go ahead and be like, okay, we're going to do this. We are going to try and DM on Thursday because you have the world set up, you have the conflict, you have everything ready, you can do this. And it's okay if you look things up mid-game. It's okay if you make mistakes mid-game. It's okay. Even the guy that gets paid money and is arguably the most popular DM in the world, like, makes mistakes. So, I don't know. That was real reassuring for me. And this has been a long rambling, but the point of it, the reason why I wanted to make it a video was, one, force myself to talk it through and to think it through a little bit more. But two, to kind of show you that I am definitely not confident in 100% of the things I do, and there's a reason why, if you've ever played D&D with me, that I have not chosen to be the DM. There definitely is a reason, and yeah, to kind of get a little bit of peer pressure too. All of you out there, go ahead and comment your best encouragement or whatever in the comments below, and we'll see how this session goes on Thursday. So anyways, if you've hung around for this long, thank you so much for watching, and I hope sincerely that you guys soar high and enjoy your ride of life. Bye!